don't come for me unless I send for you. Okay.
Full-time thuggin', I'm a full-time thuggin'.
Peace and blessings on my royalty. Kings and queens, queens and kings, what it do? One thing that I just wanted to say is when building upon a platform, be prepared to deal with people that will try to build themselves up from your energy. When you start to let your light shine and you start to really get into your purpose and your healing, etc., be prepared for the people that will come into your life only to try to take from your energy to build up their own selves because they don't have their own platform to build off of. I was inspired to make this video today because I posted something on my Facebook page, my It's the G, check it out, facebook.com/It's the G. I posted a meme that stated that that slavery was not the beginning of Black history. Slavery interrupted Black history. And underneath the caption, I wrote that Black was actually a made-up culture. It's a made-up culture here in America, period. Before slavery, before all of that, there was no term black. Black didn't exist. It wasn't black. Nobody identified themselves as that. What we have in our skin that makes it pigmentation is called melanin. And it's something that's just in our DNA. It's a chemical compound in our DNA that gives our skin the color that it is. Some people just have more melanin than others. And then, of course, you can get into like the types of species, just like there are different species, such as like different kind of birds, different kind of trees, and there's different kind of human species. And that's where you get the Caucasians, and you get the Africans, and you get the Asians. But it's still, like I said, there's melanin. But when it comes to Black, is not necessarily a culture. It's not a race. It's just a term that they use to identify and to separate certain peoples so that there can be a conquering, the divide and conquer aspect. Because a lot of the natives that were actually here were labeled as colored folks because they were really dark. The Native Americans that came from different tribes, okay? And so what happened is that we lost our culture. So being spiritual people, we knew how to create our own culture. So that's why there is a culture in America, but it's not an ancient culture. Black is not an ancient culture. But anyways, I digress. I say all of this to say, I simply stated that. And here goes this guy this morning posting under my status, trying to debate me on what I was saying. And I was like, what I'm saying is there is no misunderstanding of it and there's no lie to it. It's fact. Okay. And because I've studied my facts in history just as much as someone else has studied their facts in history. Now, he comes at me with a more in-depth perspective on certain species and humanoid species and all that other stuff. And I pretty much said, explain to me what Black means, and then explain to me what country Black comes from, and then explain to me what race is. What a race is. I know human race. But explain to me what race is, and explain to me what country Black comes from, and then we can talk. He couldn't even do that. All he kept doing was just talking, just about whatever the hell he wanted to talk about, right? He just really wanted his voice to be heard, clearly. That's clearly what it is. That's all it was. He just wanted his voice to be heard because he needed a platform to speak on, and he chose my status. And so I was just like, look, essentially what you're saying, what I'm saying is the same thing. You're just coming from a way deeper perspective than what I was coming from. I wasn't that damn deep into it. I was kind of just here more at a surface level, but his ass took that shit way down to the depths of the ocean, okay? And so I pretty much was like, look, brother, you know what I'm saying? Brother, unity, conscious, knowledge, all of that, right? I was just like, look, we saying the same thing. Not everything is a debate. When you try to come from a place of understanding, then we can have unity. And then he still goes on about shit that I'm like, I didn't even read it. Like, I didn't even read it. I was like, it's a waste of time. I was like, I'm not going to sit here and debate with you. Because I know y'all heard about that saying, do not debate your facts and history with those that have not studied their facts and history. But do not even debate facts and history with those who have studied their fact and history, but whose only intention is to misunderstand you and to argue with you. Don't even do that. That's not even necessary. Those people are what we call energy vampires. They're energy vampires. They just want your energy to help build their own energy and to help justify something that within their own mind that they have some kind of superiority of knowledge than you do. It's all ego. And so I would just let it be. I said, Ashe. I was like, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. Like, you're just going to waste your breath at this point, darling. Because I don't sit and argue. I was like, I'm just not. Like, this is my platform. You came up on my shit and started talking. So, all right. But one thing about the community, the whole conscious community, and one reason why I'm not really amongst too much of the truth seekers and the conscious community and the whole building up and all that, is because of that aspect. Too many crabs in a barrel still. Intellectual intelligence is not the same as spiritual intelligence. There are different levels of consciousness, and a lot of these people have a deep intellectual intelligence, but they lack the intuitiveness of understanding and understanding other people's perspectives and knowing that there are different perspectives, there are different paradigms, and if you open your mind to accept them and come from a place of understanding, you can actually learn a lot more. But because I'm always open, shit. I mean, he was telling me some stuff, and I was like, hey, I never really thought to look into. I never thought to look that deep. But now that he kind of brought that to my attention, I will kind of look more deep into that. So therefore, I take that so that I can enhance my own self. But one thing you won't do is insult my intelligence because you don't know what I know. But just be careful with that. Like, I was watching a video of this guy. His name is Nazir Ra, and he's a very enlightened guy, a very enlightened guru, and he has like this school. But he was talking about that. He was like, there's certain people that will be like on YouTube or whatever, and they will literally, their whole purpose and their whole existence on the internet or whatever is to be against somebody else. To use somebody else's status, popularity, voice and they'll be in opposition to it, and they will use that to build their own selves up to be a negative force. Don't be a negative vibration. Don't come from a negative place. Like, if you're a conscious person, you're about knowledge and you're about the people, then come from a place of understanding, because when you come from a place of understanding, then you have unity. Then you have peace and harmony. But if you come from a place of, I'm just going to debate everything you say, and I know so much, and I'm superior in my knowledge because I've studied. But guess what, darling? The library is filled with books. I got plenty of books on my bookshelf. Meaning, knowledge is vast. Knowledge is so vast that it comes from so many different aspects. And sometimes you can be studying one thing, and then somebody could be studying another thing, and it's still the same shit. And if you put it together, you realize, oh shoot, now we can see a bigger picture because we have put our knowledge together. As opposed to saying, well, what I study is all that there is. No, darling. There are people that can teach you. So open your mind. Wisdom is to know that you don't know everything. Wisdom is knowing that you can always learn something new from any and everybody. So stop trying to debate other people. Shoot. Let people live, darling. Like, I don't have to think like you. I don't have to believe like you. And I don't have to live like you. Therefore, because I was born me. I was born who I am. And so, therefore, what the spirit guides me to do within my own realm, within my own vortex, darling, is what I'm going to do. If I make a decision to do that, guess what? I made the decision to do it with my own physical body and my physical presence and my spirit. I have every right. But what you not gonna do, darling, is try to insult my intelligence and trying to bait me baits me in like a fish hook into your bullshit, into your art, to your ego or whatever. It ain't gonna happen, because you end up eventually you'll end up talking to your damn self, and I know what that's like. I talk to myself all the time, but at least I got a platform to speak on, and I'm not afraid to speak on my platform. But don't come on my platform, honey. Build your own, and then you can do that. But if you want to build together, you better come from a place of understanding. But I just wanted to say that, like I ain't want none. Like, that's all I wanted to say. But when you are building up a platform, just know that. And then one thing, I want to leave you with this. My friend Gummy Bear. Hey, Gummy, how you doing? He's very knowledgeable, very wise, and he's definitely helped me a lot in my spiritual development. And one thing that he said to me that really stuck out was, don't let someone else knock you off your throne. You crown yourself, right? We're all kings and queens of royalty. We crown ourselves. We put our own crowns on. At least I know I do. I stand in my crown. I stand in my authority. I stand in who I am as a queen. And I don't just say king, queen, just anybody, okay? Because if you're somebody who can easily be swayed, then you are not standing in your royal self. You're not standing in your higher self, your true purpose. And one thing he was saying is, don't let people knock you off your throne, meaning that if somebody says something to you, they say something that you don't like, and you allow them to take you out of your peace, to take you out of your element, to where you're cussing, fussing, and you're mad, and you're angry, and you're so roused and frazzled, then you have allowed that person to knock you off your throne, to knock you out of your peace, because your crown is your consciousness, your higher self. And that's a place to where you don't sink low to where you're arguing and you're in this ego mindset and you're insulting others and you're doing all this. So you can't allow someone to knock you off, especially with words. If you allow somebody's words to disrupt your whole entire just mood, then you give people way too much power. You give people way too much power over you. Like, take back your power and stand in your own light and confidence and do you. Don't worry about what people say. But ain't nobody about to knock me off my throne, darling. This crown sits up. And that's why I'm making this video now, because instead of like trying to explain to someone, to try to keep trying to explain to one person whose only intention is to misunderstand me, and who has a blocker already in their mind, they already have blockages, it would be a waste of my time and energy. So instead, I use that inspiration to make this video on my platform for whoever wants to listen. And if you have any comments or anything that you want to say, feel free. But come from a place of understanding, a place of knowledge, a place of peace, and then say it. Okay? Otherwise, you're just gonna waste your breath. Because I have no problem deleting motherfuckers that get disrespectful, and then you wasted all that time writing some shit just for it to be deleted, because I have that power on my platform. Alright? But if you say something of where we can come to an understanding and agreement, or just agree to disagree, but in a respectful manner, then I'm all for it. And I'm all for that. I'm all for it. So if you want to make a comment below. If you want to say hey, say hey. And I just want to shout out everybody who has subscribed, and to people who do watch my videos, because there are people out there who are watching. And I just want to say, from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for rocking with me. There's so much more, and I know I'm not consistent as much with videos, but there's a lot. But just let me know you're out there, and like I said, I'll be more consistent if I know you're out there. But if it's really not, if my voice, I need my voice to be used. I need my voice to be used for the good. So if I feel like, okay, maybe nobody's really out there listening to these videos, then I really don't make them all the time, and then I just stick to my Zumba with that, and then I stick in that focus. But there is other aspects to me, but I would definitely try to make more videos and be more consistent. And I said it all the time, but y'all know life happens, and plus, like I said, I do Zumba. But in the meantime, please stay up to date. Stay in contact with me because I am active on the internet. I may not be just active in making YouTube videos. So check me out at facebook.com/itstheg, or Instagram it's.the.g. And stay in contact with me. I post on those daily, all the time. And I just want to know who you are and if you're out there, and I want to shout you out. And that is it, darling. I'm not removing this crown. This crown stays on my head, and I'll always stand in my own light. Holla.